Welcome to Too Old and Too Slow, and in this episode join me here in Lisbon and also back in my workshop on the south coast. So it's been a bit of a drama this week. In this episode you'll see that I work on the fuel tank. I have a big problem with the engine which needs to find a solution, and I just tidy up the last few jobs before I can install the engine, if it's possible, but there's difficulties. So come with me and enjoy this episode. I've only got a couple of days in the UK before I have to head back to work. So I didn't achieve as much as I would like, but I'm moving forward. So the decision I made a bit of a big decision this week. I am now going to commit to getting the Royale out for Snetterton towards the end of April. It's going to be a big push because I've got quite a busy flying program and there's quite a few bits missing which I'm going to have to made. So I've been in touch with Universal Racing Services, URS, up in Wyndham in Norfolk, and they're going to be making some bits for me. Also, I need to have another talk with Mark about the front suspension. It's going to be touch and go if I can get it there. So the next few episodes, next probably 3 episodes, are going to be a really hard push to see if I've got enough parts to get the car together and get it out at Snetterton. But you know what? It's going to be worth it. It's worth the challenge. And then I'm going to have to decide what I want to do with the car. Because do I want to keep 2 racing cars? I'm not sure. So maybe I'll sell it or raffle it or give it away. I don't know. Probably not give it away. Anyway, let's see how I get on this week. So I've been working on a few little bits and pieces here. I've been looking at the rear suspension, trying to get that on, with my intention is to try and get the engine in some type of position. So following somebody's comment, I bought a winch and an I-beam clamp. That was very reasonable. And my plan is to marry the engine and the gearbox together. This isn't proving to be completely straightforward. I've got it just about in position, but I can't get it the last little bit because it needs to be absolutely dead straight. So I'm working on that and wriggling around and trying to get it in position. But the purchase of the winch up here and the I-beam clamp is excellent. Really does make life a lot easier. So the plan is to get those 2 married together and get it offered into the car so I can work on sighting of the suspension parts and the water pipes, as well as some continue with the electrics. I've cut the water pipes to length now and put a bead on them, and I'm going to work out how I'm going to plumb that into the back, but I really need to have the engine in position. So I've got to get the engine and the gearbox married together. So I'm going to have to manufacture or get manufactured some mounting brackets for it, but if I can get it in and get it held with blocks of wood in position, I can look at what brackets I need and get those made, and also start to think about exhausts as well. Right, I'm been working for kind of basically 2 half days, really trying to increase the amount of work I do, because I really want to see if I can get this out by the end of April. It's going to be a challenge. What do you reckon? Do you reckon it's possible for me to get it at the end of April? So I'm going to give it a go. I've been really working away the last couple of days, and I've had some good progress. So I'll show you what progress I've had and see. Every step I take, I seem to take a step backwards. It's really frustrating. Hey, but we'll get there. Okay, starting at the front of the car, nothing, no progress. I haven't done anything in the front. It's pretty much as it is on the last video. But it's been some progress here. I've made a cover for the fuel tank. It's yeah, I had a sheet aluminium. I needed to put a cover over the fuel tank, and I've made that and bent it, and it looks kind of pretty. I've used riv nuts to put it in position to hold it in place. The riv nuts so I can take the fuel tank out. So I will have to take it in and out a few times, I imagine, as I progress. So I'm really pleased with that. What I did is I had a bit of spare aluminium, and I picked up this tool on eBay a while ago, and just put it in a vise, and you can bend bits of metal, and it does really nice 90 degrees and 45-degree bends. Yeah, it's a super good, it's just really simple device. I just screw down those big nuts, I put the metal in and bend to the desired angle, and that has been a success. So success there. I've wired up the earth lead, so that's wired up to the kill switch, and that runs along to the battery. The battery holder's been riv nutted in. Again, riv nuts are good. I like riv nuts. I had some from another build I did, so they're really cool and they're in position. So that's good. I'm very pleased with the fuel tank cover. And then the engine. Problems with the engine. The idea was to stick that gearbox on this engine, and I was talking to a provider of, oh look, a nice new clutch, a provider of the starter motor, and he had some interesting news for me. So he asked me a really simple question. He said, how many teeth do you have on the flywheel? So I thought it was 110. So that's what it has been, 110. So, and I was struggling to get it on. It didn't seem to fit. Something was off. Counted the teeth. I had 135 teeth. So as you saw, we got problems with the flywheel. The flywheel is just too big. I counted 135 teeth on the flywheel, and the standard is 110, so the ring gear around the flywheel needs to be changed. I've ordered a new one from Burton Power, so that'll be coming whilst I'm away, and I need to get it fitted. So to fit it, you need to heat it up. So you can take one off and heat the new one up and put it on, and you need to get it very hot. So I found a company which works with metal very close to where the Too Old and Too Slow headquarters are, and I'm going to drop that in on Saturday, and with a guy called Mick we're going to swap them over. So that's that problem solved. It's cost me about 50 quid, but it's just one of those things. Why I had 135 teeth on that flywheel, I will never know, but there we go. So the got the rear suspension loosely in place. The interesting thing about this, as someone pointed out, it uses the, rather than having lots of chassis work at the back, it's very light chassis wise. It uses these brackets which bolt onto the engine and the gearbox to provide structure. Interesting. I've attached this. Talk about over engineering. This is the beautiful Jap oil tank. So that's been fitted and that's in place. Oh yes, I've also ordered a load of these and some more hose pipes so I can get the water system done. So I've been on to a company called Ash Auto Silicon Hoses, and they will deliver next couple of days. So getting there slowly. I feel I've got a lot done in the last few days, more than I usually do. I've been really working at it. It's great having this here, so I've got the engine ready to go. The next thing is, once I get the flywheel, engine and gearbox on, and then offer the engine and gearbox into the back of the car, and that's going to be a big step. Because of the beams, I'm going to have to shuffle the car over this way to make sure it's in the right place. Yeah, slow progress. Well, actually good progress this week. And I just need to get my head around a few more things as well, do a lot of thinking about stuff. But so far, so good. Oh, one more thing I've got to point out. So this has been confusing me. I need to run the steering column through this block here. And there should be like a bracket with a hole with nylon through it, but that's nowhere. Didn't come with the car. Lost in the post. So I've spoken to URS, Universal Racing Supplies up in Norfolk, and they are going to provide something for me. I've sent all the measurements, and I'm delighted that they'll be able to supply that. Hopefully that'll arrive next week or the week after. So it's progress, step by step. So that's it for this episode of Too Old and Too Slow. On the screen, you can see a button to press for to subscribe, and also a button to press which has got the playlist of this series. So I really appreciate you spending your time to watch. Please remember to subscribe. I'm pushing towards that 5,000 subscriber mark, and the more the merrier. So follow me for the rest of this journey. See if I can get this car out for Snetterton. It's going to be tough. It's no guarantee I'm going to get there. There's going to be lots of problems on the way. I've got also quite a busy flying program as well. So for me down here in a rather grey and miserable Portugal, thank you so much for watching, and I will speak to you next time.